One day after school, you stumble upon a Nintendo Switch listing. You really want to buy it, but you look at your bank account and see that you don't have enough money. You think to yourself, if I had enough money to buy the Switch, it'd make me really happy.
For the next couple of days, you keep thinking about how happy having a Switch would make you. Somehow you manage to get enough money to purchase a Switch.
A few days later, the Switch arrives at your house. You unbox it and start playing with it. A couple hours later, you find yourself getting bored of it and you feel nothing anymore. But you thought to yourself, does money really make you happy?
Welcome to Power Your Story podcast, production by the Creative Imposter Studios, with the support from After School Matters. I'm Ada.
And I'm Natalie.
Today we'll be discussing a very important question.
Does money give you happiness? My opinion is I believe money does give you happiness to some extent, but money doesn't really give you complete happiness, but it does give you happiness to some extent.
I also agree with Natalie. I think money does give you happiness to a certain extent, and I feel like money can give you temporary happiness too, but money also can't buy love and friendships and stuff.
Okay. So money, it can buy you materialistic things you want. For example, let's say, okay, for our scenario, we chose a Nintendo Switch. Let's say you really want the Nintendo Switch and getting the Nintendo Switch will make you really happy. Like money can give you materialistic things, but it can't really buy you non-materialistic things like love and happiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get it, 'cause, sometimes you would buy, in this case, a Nintendo Switch. You keep playing it and, playing with it until, you get bored of it, and then, this materialistic item, then you question, "Oh, does it really, give you happiness or, give you that joy that you need in life?"
I don't know about you, but I think of rich people and I think about what they think about the middle of the night in their beds. Like, are they happy with what they have? Because you can be really rich and you can be alone with no friends, but you have all this money.
Yeah.
And could you really be happy though? But then there's also the opposite end of this situation where you can be you don't have that much money, but you need money to live and survive. It's like you're not as well off as other people, but if you had money to let's say take care of your basic needs like food and healthy living conditions, then that could also make you happy, but you're gonna need money to do that, you know?
Mhm, and, money can also be, a safety net too, 'cause, if you don't have money, you don't feel secure, so money can
Mhm.
give you, security, and that can, maybe, give you a sense of, happiness, 'cause, "Oh, if anything happens, I'm good 'cause I have money." But also some people say that, "Oh, money can't buy you happiness," and I'm like, "Oh, you must be buying the wrong things then, 'cause I don't know."
Okay. Also, we have to remember that our perspective is gonna be different than someone else's perspective
Mhm.
because we're not adults yet. We're not really living in the real world yet. So
Yeah, and we don't really have
maybe
stable income.
maybe money is not as worth as to someone who's living on their own, I guess. Well, for me right now, I don't need to help my parents pay rent or anything. I don't need to help my parents pay for anything. But if I start living on my own, then I'm gonna be much more cautious about my money and about
Yeah.
everything I spend my money on.
Yeah, that's so true because, depending, on how you grew up, money is such, a sacred thing or money is, is just money to you. 'Cause, if you grew up with, a lot of money, then of course you would think that, "Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm fine, I have money," but, for some other people who didn't grow up with a lot of money, they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, money does give you happiness 'cause you can
Yeah.
buy anything with money."
Yeah, I think another major factor is that we need money to survive. Like the world revolves around money. It's if you don't have money, you can't really do much in life.
Mhm.
It's for money, you need to buy food, you need to buy a house, you need to buy
You pay your rent,
pay your
water
rent,
bill.
you got to pay for your own personal wants or you got to pay for your need. Everything revolves around money
Mhm.
because money revolves around everything. I believe that money does give you happiness because I can't really explain it, but money Like, it literally revolves around
It yeah,
everything.
life literally revolves around money. Cause like, oh, if you wanna have fun and create memories, you need, like to have a good time,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
need
yeah, yeah, yeah.
money.
Yeah, that's, like, one place where money can buy happiness,
Mhm.
like, when you wanna have fun,
Or, like,
then you
experience.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
experience. I mean, there are activities that don't really need money, but, like, I feel like if you really want to have,
A memorable
re like,
experience.
a very, very memorable thing,
Like
like a
Disneyland.
party, like a yeah,
Yeah.
Disneyland, like you need a lot of money for that.
Do you, like, think that money also cannot make you happy?
Yeah, like, if you spend way too much money, that's bad. I don't know, I just think of, like, people who did the lottery, like, when they get their lottery money, they, like, spend it on, like, a bunch of I don't wanna say useless, but, like, useless stuff. And
Splurge, and, like, they don't know how
yeah,
like, when people win the lottery, it's, like, so much money that they don't know what to do with it. They're like, "Oh, I have so much money, then I'll just splurge on this and splurge on that," because 'cause they're so overwhelmed with how much money they have.
I feel like it's a matter of, like, your own personality, but if it
Mhm.
were me and I were to use a bunch of my money on, like, too many, like, non-valuable things, I guess,
Mhm.
I would be kind of, like, guilty, I guess. Well, that's just me, but,
And I
like,
feel like it will also be a waste too.
you're like, "Oh, I don't think I should have made that huge purchase," and
Yeah.
you're like, "What have I done?" And then you don't feel happiness. You don't feel happy that you have, like, all this stuff, but you're like, why do" like, you're like,
Why did I buy
why did I buy" yeah,
this?"
"Why did I buy all that stuff?"
Mhm.
I also think it depends on where you use your money. Let's say I have a bunch of money and I donate it to, like, a
Charity?
organization, like a charity or
Yeah,
organization. I might feel really good about myself, but if I use that same amount of money to buy, like, something else that's not as valuable, I'll probably feel, like, really bad about myself.
a Bugatti.
Oh, yeah, I just think of, like, a mansion and, like, just buy
Yeah,
a bunch of, like
cars and games. Yeah.
mhm. So, yeah, I don't know, it depends, like it mainly depends on the person and where they are using their money.
Yeah, cause like, you can, like, donate it to charity and, like, "Oh my god, I feel so good about myself because 'cause I'm helping so many people." But
Yeah.
then, like, if you, like, use it to buy something that's, like, for yourself, you might, in the end, feel a little bit selfish because like, you could use that money towards, like,
Yeah.
something better. Yeah.
Also, I think that, like, if you waste your money on, like, a bunch of useless stuff, you're gonna get a lot of, like, hate from other people.
Mhm.
You're like, "Why are you using all your money on this when you could be using
Yeah.
it on this?" And then people start judging you, and then you feel even worse, you know?
I mean, you could save the money too, right? But, like, saving the money, you can't really use it either, so, like
But the thing is, if you save money, then you're going to be like, "Oh my goodness, I really wanna use this money because like"
I mean, you could, like, budget it out, like, "Oh, I'll
Yeah.
put half of it in, like, the bank and then a quarter of this for this and that."
I also think that it can, like, create a lot of unnecessary bad environment around you. Let's say you have a lot of money and then people come to you acting like you're fake like your
Oh,
friend, and
yeah, so true.
they're like gold diggers, you know?
I know, right? Oh, yeah, like, money can also attract toxic people because, like, they may only be with you for your money, and, like, that's not very good.
Yeah, and or you realize that people are only, like, becoming friends with you because of your
Yeah.
money,
Like, people
and
take advantage of you.
yeah, and then it makes you feel not as good. That's, like, another example how, like,
Money
money
can't
doesn't
bring you
can't bring you
happiness.
happiness, it doesn't give you the friendships. I know that's kind of
Yeah.
cliche, but, like, I don't think money will give you the friendships. Like, it doesn't give you the bond with
Yeah, it
other
doesn't give you the
people.
bond or, like, let's say you're quote unquote "friends" with someone, but you don't share any interests. You guys don't really get along, but you just, like, shop with each other. Like, is that really a friendship if you just, like, shop with each other? It's like
Yeah,
it also can't buy love, cause like
definitely.
yeah, cause you don't go on the shelf, like, you don't go to Target and it's like, "Oh, you see on the shelf, love," like, you can't buy that. It's, like, something you have to work on and, like, actually connect with people.
Yeah, I
So
think that, like, goes back to, like, saying how money can give you materialist
Mm,
needs, and it can give you, like, happiness to some extent, but not, like,
yeah, some extent.
happiness forever. I like, maybe a good word to describe is joy. Like, money can give you happiness, but not joy, you know?
Or money can give you joy and not happiness. Cause like, joy is, like, is for a brief moment, and happiness
But
is, like,
isn't it
overall, right?
isn't it, the opposite?
I don't know.
I I don't know, cause like, a lot of people could use money, like, I know especially, like, people, like, who are go through a lot of school or, like, they do
Mm,
a lot of higher education, that costs, like, a lot of money,
yeah.
especially in America, and then they get into a bunch of debt, and they're gonna need money for that. Where you gonna get money? And then you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going into all
Yeah,
this debt," and, like, you don't feel very, like, secure, like we talked about earlier, like,
mhm.
money can give you security
And that
and,
can,
like,
like, make you less
happy, make
tense.
you and less
Yeah.
stress. So, I think it's very complicated because it's
Yeah,
very
it all
different for
depends, to be honest.
it all depends on other people.
Yeah, and your perspective of life.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to think of, like, what could I do if I were in these situations? Like, what could I do if I had a bunch of money? But, like, I think of, like, other people. I think, like, the thing that draws me the most is saying that money does give you happiness is that the security part, like,
Mhm,
that's, like, the biggest reason why I think money gives you happiness.
that's true. 'Cause money can give you security, but too much money can also lead to overconsumption, and overconsumption is just really bad in general.
Overconsumption is always bad no matter
Yeah,
what you do, like
and you get, like, overstimulated, and then, like, you don't know what to do with all the things that you have
like,
bought.
yeah, what if you become too greedy?
Oh my god, yeah.
I think sometimes, like, people are afraid of being too greedy or, like, being the people that they don't want to be,
Mhm.
like, they don't
Or, like,
wanna
be
be, like,
selfish.
selfish
Mhm,
and greedy. So, I think overall, it just depends on, like, the person and situation.
mhm, that's true. 'Cause I know people are, like, afraid to be greedy and, like, put themselves first. So they would, like, spend all their money on, like, other people, but, like, in order to fill other people's glasses, you have to fill yours first. So today we discussed if money gives you happiness or not. It might be different for every person, but these are our opinions, and we believe that money does give you happiness to some extent.
Maybe today you should ask yourself, "Does money make me happy?" We'll leave you with that thought. Anyways, we hope you enjoyed this episode and thanks for listening.
Take care of yourself, guys.
Mhm. Bye.
Bye.
Power Your Story podcast is produced by high school students in Chicago at the Creative Imposter Studios.
With production support from After School Matters.
Listen to more Power Your Story in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite listening app.
If you loved what you heard, help us out. You can write a review in Apple Podcasts or share this episode with friends and family.
Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Power Your Story Podcast.
Get links and learn more in the show notes and at poweryourstorypodcast.com.
Thank you for listening.
Have an amazing day.